Y'all know Smoker look cold as hell. Look at him. He actually looks like he's, like topping the verse, But anyway, you guys read the title. Chapter 1122 One Piece Review. All right, so let's get into it. On page 1 of the chapter, we finally see Vegapunk kind of wrapping up his message to, the world and stuff like that. We have some people reacting like what kind of madness are you talking about? Some other people talking about, oh no, will our country sink too? The Navy has to do something, and you got the pirates just like going crazy because, they feel it like it's their time now. You know what I mean? Like it's their time to go out and, find the One Piece. It cuts over to Impel, what I assume is Impel Down in a way. A lot of the prisoners, they're overhearing Vegapunk's message through the Dindin Mushis, and see, one of the things that I've actually always been wondering about this scene right here, that I'm glad actually did get answered, is why can the prisoners actually listen to what Vegapunk says? I mean, they're prisoners, right? And, in one of the panels, it actually explains this, Vegapunk hijacked all of the Dindin Mushis, right? And he's playing this message through the Dindin Mushis, all of them, like all over the world, and, in Impel Down, the Mushis, they're like all over the walls, all over the roof, and they also double as surveillance cameras. So the problem is like, they can't take down the Dindin Mushis without shutting off their own surveillance over the worst prison in the world, Impel Down. And on this panel, there's like one of the commanders, he's yelling at his subordinate, and the subordinate, he's like, every snail in the prison is playing it, and we can't stop them, so it kind of shows you like, the certain predicament that, the guards are actually in right now, which I'm pretty glad that was actually explained, because I was kind of sitting up there looking like, why can't they hear this exactly, like they're kind of treating those prisoners kind of good, then we cut over to Kobe. And, Kobe, he's reminiscing about Luffy. He's thinking about Luffy's dream from the past, now how Luffy was talking about he wants to become the Pirate King, how he wants to claim the One Piece, and, go on from there. And after that, we get this cold ass scene from Kobe. He looks serious as hell, like, bro. And he's looking at us, the viewer, and he's like, I have to stop you from achieving your dream. So I'm assuming, obviously, he's talking about Luffy. And the thing is, it's like, we already all knew this, right? Kobe, at some point in the story, is going to have a all-out fight with Luffy. Okay? But let's be real here. Does anybody actually think that little boy Kobe can beat Gear 5 Nika Luffy? I mean, let's be real here. We've seen Kobe, he's doing a little bit more impressive stuff, but does he really think he could stop Luffy though? And this is going to be kind of interesting to see. Like, I want to see this actually play out. Like, I mean, because like, I know he doesn't think that he's just going to just run up on Luffy and just stop him. He's nowhere near his level. So I really do want to see how this is going to play out, so that's a fight I'm going to be looking forward to, moving on, we get to one of my favorite One Piece characters in the whole damn verse. I don't care what anybody says. It's Buggy D Clown. Oh my goodness. This dude right here, he's like, this dude is hilarious every time I freaking see him. You know what I mean? He's talking to his subordinates, and all his subordinates, they're like, this is Buggy's world. This is Buggy's world. And, Buggy the Clown, being a charismatic showman clown as he is, he's like, my world? You mean our world? And it's like, Buggy, he really does know how to put on a show. You know what I mean? He knows how to make people follow him. He knows how to make people like just rally behind him, and it's like in the crowd, we see like everybody's crying. They all have hard eyes. We see this one lady at the bottom right. She's like, just like, look like she's passing out, just from his aura or something. You know what I mean? And it's like, Buggy's really that guy right now. And he's really shown that, like, he's really that guy. And it cuts behind Buggy, and we see Crocodile and Mihawk sitting behind them, and they're like, just sit, and then Buggy, he looks back and he's, got tears in his eyes like he's being bullied right now. But see, the funny thing is about this whole Buggy situation is that Buggy has made himself inseparable from the other two, right? And why I say that is because they can no longer get rid of Buggy. They need Buggy now. It's not an option anymore. Okay, and why I say that is because Buggy, he has established that like he's basically rallied everybody in the crew together, right? They all follow Buggy. Okay, and because Buggy's so charismatic with this whole crew, and on top of that, how he said it's like it's not my world, it's our world. He's kind of showing that he's going to share in whatever he achieves with his crew. All of them are going to come up. And it's like if you get rid of Buggy, they're not going to rally behind Crocodile and Mihawk, who both have very selfish desires and don't know how to run the crew like that. You know what I mean? The whole crew is just going to disband. Okay, because it's like if you promise like a whole crew, like, hey, look, we're going to take over the world. This world is going to be ours, and then you take out Buggy, and then some selfish ass dude gets up there and he's like, you guys follow me, follow my orders for my goals and ambitions, and that's it. You guys get nothing besides, I don't know, just to be a part of my crew or something. It's like it doesn't have the same effect. You know what I mean? So at this point, Buggy, he's become inseparable from the crew. Like they can't get rid of Buggy anymore. And it's kind of like an interesting touch. I actually like seeing that a little bit. You know what I mean? Moving on, we see, what Blackbeard got going on. We see, I forgot this lady's name, but she is ugly as fuck. Her and Blackbeard have the same nose. It's like, what the fuck? But her and Augur, they're talking to Karibo, and Karibo, he's begging them to take him with him, and he's like, I have information, that I can relay to Teach or Blackbeard, whatever you want to call him, and Blackbeard, he's like, bring him to me, I'll put him down if his info is a dud, basically saying I'll kill him if his information isn't good, and the thing is, it's like, does anybody actually remember what Karibo's information that he has is? Well, if you remember, dude, Karibo has been pretty much everywhere. He's been from Fishman Island all the way to Wano. That's actually crazy to think about, right? And the thing is, it's like he knows where, most of the ancient weapons are at this point. He knows, about Shirahoshi and her ability. He knows a lot of things. Like he knows a lot of stuff, So yeah, his intel is going to be really good. And just my thought on it. I think Blackbeard's probably going to pull up to Wano sometime soon. You know what I mean? I think he's going to pull up, probably take a lot of ancient weapons, and just be like the most annoying ass villain when we see him again. I guarantee you. Moving on, we move back to Luffy, the Straw Hats, and these damn Gorosei. And when we see him again, we see the giant pig guy. I forgot his name. He's like fucking up the robot. He has his tusk like piercing through him, and they finally shut off that damn Din Mushi, right? R.I.P. Snail guy. Dude, they blew up his shell. He is dead, And, we see the horse guy, Ethan. He's chasing after the Sunny that's falling into the ocean. He's still trying to, chop it in half. Zoro's about to, try to encounter him. Everybody's like freaking out right now. Like, what the hell? Iron Giant, he starts apologizing to Joy Boy. Luffy can hear him with the voice of all things. He's looking at Luffy like, I knew there was no chance he would still be alive. And Luffy, he responds, he's like, did you mistake me for someone else? And this is actually kind of interesting because Luffy's finally starting to catch on, right? Because like everybody's been calling him Joy Boy, everybody's been calling him Nika, and it's like he's completely clueless. Like he doesn't know anything about this. He still thinks he has the gum fruit, right? And you know, it's like he's finally catching on, like, okay, you guys keep calling me Joy Boy and Nika. Who are these people? Like, are you, you know, mistaking me for someone else? Like, what the hell is actually going on? Why do you keep calling me that? And he, you know, it looks like he's finally catching on, and that's really good to see. You know, I want to see what Luffy's abilities are going to be like once he understands that he doesn't have the Gum fruit, right? Because when you think about it, you know, the Nika's abilities, they can bring whatever you imagine into reality. Right. And you know, we don't actually know the extent of Gear 5's powers or exactly how strong or broken it can get, you know. But the thing is like, we only seen Luffy stretching, turning the ground rubber-like, turning into a giant, inflating his hands and stuff like that. Right. But that's because Luffy thinks that he still has the Gum fruit. You see what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't actually realize that he does not have the Gum fruit. So he's still going off of the assumption that these are his set abilities, the Gum abilities, you know? So it's kind of limiting his Gear 5 into just simply stretching and stuff like that. You know, so it'd be really interesting to see him, you know, actually unlock the full potential of his abilities. You know what I mean? Moving on. You know, we see the girls say, you know, they're all pulling up, trying to kill the Thousand Sun, you know, trying to eat everybody on the ship. You know, we see this giant worm guy, right? And, you know, he's a lot bigger than I actually thought he was. You know, like, this dude is like fucking colossal. Like, he's damn near bigger than the island. You know, if you look at him and, you know, just imagine how long his full body is. Like, this dude is damn near bigger than the entire island. Okay, like, that's crazy. And you know, the robot, he's like, I failed to make him king. You know, and Luffy, he's like, king. You know, and the robot, he's like, what is your name? You know, Luffy, he finally tells him, like, I'm Monkey D. Luffy, the man who's going to become the king of the pirates. And you know, the robot, he hears the D in his name. You know, and he's like, okay. And there's like this, you know, it shows like this scene of like this rope, right? That's inside the robot that he pulls. And the rope, it kind of reminiscent of that rope from Nami's teacher during the time skip, right? We see that guy on that weather island, you know, and he's teaching Nami how to, you know, deal with weather and things like that. And he has like these ropes with knots all in them. And it kind of looks like that. You know, and he's like, you know, thank you for letting me hear, you know, that rhythm again one last time. And he's like, you know, I'm going to protect you. Don't die. I won't let you die. And he unleashes like this massive blast of Conqueror's Haki that covers the entire fucking island, even far out into the ocean, right? And it's like, it's splitting the sky. Like, if you look at the upper part of the bottom panel, he's actually splitting the sky with this Haki, right? And it is so damn bad. Like, it is causing all of the Marines to just pass out. You know, even the vice admirals, they're on their knees and just like struggling to get up. The dude with the big old chin, he's like, who's causing it? Dude, like, even the Gorosei are getting pummeled by this Haki. They reverted back to their human forms because of this. That's how bad the Haki was. In fact, you know, it was so bad, they actually had to retreat back to Mary's Rock. Now, that's some pretty damn tough Haki, okay? You know, and when they pull back up to Mary's Rock, we see, you know, the dude with the beard. Kind of reminds me of Ganfall, sitting right there on the chair, you know, just looking at him. You know, which is kind of interesting, right? Because it's like, how did you get here? You know what I mean? Like, like, how did you get into this room? Did Luffy and Bonnie blast this man so damn hard he teleported back to the room? Or did they send his ass flying back to Mary's Rock? Like what exactly happened? You know, I really want to know the answer to that. Like, how did you get back in that room? Okay, and so that's kind of interesting. You know, and we see Emu. You know, again, I actually like seeing, you know, as much of Emu as I possibly can, because Emu is one of those characters that I'm really interested in, right? Because Emu looks like just a complete weirdo. Like, I really want to see a lot more of this character, right? and we see Emu. He or she, whatever it is, is doubled over on the ground. One of its subordinates are running up there like, "Great Emu!" And we actually hear Emu like crying out in pain, like, "Wah!" Like Emu's actually on the ground, seemingly in pain, because of this haki. And this actually brings up another question. Did the haki actually reach Mary Joie? Like, was the haki so bad that it actually traveled all the way to Mary Joie and hit Emu? Or is it that Emu could just sense the haki, or did the haki actually travel to Emu, or like what exactly is going on? You know what I mean? And I think that's a very interesting question. Like, exactly how far did that haki actually reach? Moving on, the Sunny finally landed in the water, which felt like an eternity. It was stuck in the air. We saw Atlas, she blew herself up. Ethan, he got her regenerated, came back, and all of this whole sequence happened before the Sunny even hit the water, so a lot happened within a few seconds of the Sunny actually just, landing into the water, which is crazy, and Luffy, he's like, "I'm, glad you guys made it, what happened to those monsters? No idea, they disappeared," showing that the girls actually did in fact leave, and I guess they're now headed on to Elbath, and then we cut over, we see Saturn, who did not teleport back to Mary Joie with the other guys. In fact, he's still on the shore of Egghead. He's staring at this big ass robot, just looking at it like, what the fuck, and then we finally get a few flashbacks of the robot himself, and he has a memory of himself talking to Joy Boy, right? And Joy Boy, he's explaining like, I'm not going to be always around to save you, and he explains like, I'm going to gather my most powerful haki and seal it inside you. Okay. And when you're in danger or you feel like you need to protect somebody, pull this rope and it would be like I'm there to save you again, and that was the robot's last memory before his eyes go dark. And I guess that was his, final moment, so overall, it's pretty solid chapter. We got to see a lot of things, with the Gorosei, they finally got defeated, or at least pushed back, to say the least. They went back to Mary Joie, because I was really wondering, like, you have all of these tough opponents here. How are you going to escape all these guys? Because it's like, it would not be satisfactory to see Luffy beat all of the Gorosei, because then it would kind of, show that the Gorosei are weak, and I did not like the idea of that. Like, the Gorosei all pull up and Luffy just beats all of them, in the same arc. And it's like, it just shows that they're kind of like, just kind of mid-tier villains. And it's like, I don't like that idea. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy with the outcome of what Oda pulled. He did the, hockey bomb, I'll just call it a hockey bomb, and, they just teleported back to Mary Joie, but one thing's for sure though, which I kind of find a little interesting. If we ever see the Gorosei pull up again, it's not going to be the same. Okay. Like I can almost promise you that, if we, in the future chapters, if we ever see the Gorosei pull up again, whether it's one or all of them, it's not going to go the same. All right. They're going to be out for blood. I guarantee you that. Okay. It's going to get crazy and there's not going to be a giant robot there to save them. Okay. So that's going to be really interesting. During the robot's flashbacks, we see a little bit of, the original Joy Boy, and he's standing there, talking to Emmett. And it's like, if we zoom in a little bit, we could tell that he has like a little peg leg or something like that, and, back in, some of Oda's previous interviews, he always wanted to draw a pirate, with an eye patch or a peg leg, like the traditional pirate kind of thing. And once he does that, that's going to be like towards the end of the series. So, we can kind of look at this like this is the end of the series, like it's coming up on the end. And that's pretty much the chapter. Tell me what you guys thought about it. drop it in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.